Hi, everyone. Welcome to this new episode of our Student Spotlight series, where we're able to showcase some of the work that some of our past students have done. So today we are super happy to have one of our students that did our Future Scholars program with us. So why don't you introduce yourselves to tell us your name, where you're from, and kind of what your academic interests are.
Hi, my name is Giana. I'm from India, and I've done the course on cell and developmental biology because I'm interested in neuroscience, and I plan on pursuing that for my future career.
And can you tell us what the course that you did with us, so what the name of the course was and who your professor was?
So I did a course on cell and developmental biology, and the teacher was Miss Mamiko Yajima, and the teacher's assistant was Jana Joha.
And what made you seek out this course in the first place? Had you had any experience with the topic before, or what made you seek out the course in the first place?
So I just started high school, and with starting high school, it means, trying to find a path for your future. And so I was researching topics, and I found an interest in biology, specifically in neuroscience. And I spoke to one of my teachers, and she gave me this awesome opportunity to sign up for this course at Cambridge. And I thought, why not just go ahead? And luckily I got in, and this course was fun.
And can you tell us a little bit more in detail, kind of what you guys did in the course, and then talk a little bit about what your research was about?
Yeah, so from weeks 1 to 9, we were doing a different presentation on research topics. So my teammates and I, we did our own single presentations. My first presentation was on local translation in neuronal dendrites, where we learned about different synapses and how messages are sent throughout the brain, and neurons are connection in the brain cells. From weeks 10 to 12, it was about our paper that we did in a collaborative writing, about doing our own research and summing them up for a possible presentation and publication of our paper. And what I did specifically for the paper was local translation in neuronal cells, where I spoke about how different information is sent. And I looked more into papers that explained how even in animals such as squid and crab or fish, the synaptic messages could be sent within, even after they're taken out of the body. So it was really interesting as a whole, and it was a first-time experience.
And what was your experience? So you mentioned it was your first time. Was it your first time experiencing kind of doing research, or was it your first time experiencing with this topic?
It's my first time with everything,
Or both?
actually, because this is first time everything, because I have not done such a big research before, maybe for like in 7th grade for like solar system or something, but it was never as big as neuronal dendrites. And I have not touched this topic at all. Like I said earlier, I just started high school, so have not really focused much on brains and neurons yet.
And from your research, was there anything very interesting that you found? Do you want to talk a little bit about your findings and kind of what surprised you or what didn't surprise you?
So one of my classmates had researched on translation in neurodegenerative diseases, and there was a lot of factors that surprised me, such as sleep is a factor that can influence diseases like Alzheimer's or ADHD. And it was really interesting. And even like I said earlier, like the squid axons, the fact that the messages can be transferred even outside of the human body is interesting, because that just shows that the neurons really don't need our body or our cells or beings to actually function. So that was really cool.
And was there anything from either the research experience or your findings in particular that kind of changed your perspective at all on the topic?
This was a thrilling experience. So it definitely brought me more into the topic. It kind of pulled me in, so I became more interested. And because of this topic, I performed much better at school in biology as well, because it helped me with my exams and my chapters with learning cells and neurons. So that was pretty fun. And this definitely reeled me in more into the sector that I was already interested in. So this definitely made me want to pursue neurosurgery as a career.
And then you mentioned a bit about the publication, kind of the option to publish. Did you have any experience with that? Were you looking to publish, or was that part of your program at all?
So Miss Mamiko had given us the opportunity to publish it once we're done with the paper. So right now we're all trying to complete the paper, and maybe after that, Miss Mamiko will officially publish it because it's just research findings of what we found.
Nice. And then to kind of pivot into your more general experience with the program itself. Can you talk a little bit about kind of what your experience was doing a program like this, especially as an early high school student? So some of our students are in grade 11 or 12, so you're on kind of the earlier end. So can you talk a little bit about kind of what your experience was doing this as an early high school student, and it's your first time doing research like this and all of that?
It was very scary at first because it was a lot of topic. I did not expect such a huge load of work. There were lots of big words, so Wikipedia and the dictionary definitely helped me a lot. And even though it was kind of scary, when you continuously read through the paper again and again, you get a general idea. And the research at first was a bit complicated because I entered a new world where I had to use different type of quotation and use different languages and words and new techniques. So it was kind of hard for me to grasp the idea at first, but then once I got the hang of it, the research definitely became easier. And like in my school, we have not learned nearly nothing close to what I'm learning here at Cambridge. So it was completely different and new information to me, but that kind of was really interesting for me because I just learned something new, and yeah, it was really fun.
And how was the research process and experience compared to kind of papers and projects that you're used to doing in high school or that you've done before?
It's definitely much more complicated or much more like mature because these are the types of papers that adults or full-fledged scientists come do on as a work. I'm used to just writing down 2-3 paragraphs or making a model, but here at Cambridge I had to research over like multiple papers and then had to reference, and I had to put information. I have to read like thousands of pages. So it was definitely difficult, but I enjoyed the process because it was so enlightening and it gave us a lot of information.
Nice. And then in both of our programs, so both the Future Scholars program and the one-on-one program, we really like to emphasize kind of the aspect of mentorship. So as opposed to just kind of the standard model of teaching where our mentors don't really aren't meant to just transfer information to the students, but they're really meant to help you and guide you along your own journey and your own learning process. So can you tell me a little bit about your experience with your mentor and your TA and how they kind of helped guide you both in terms of helping you learn how to research and also helping you pick your research topic? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So Miss Mamiko, she was very helpful. She was our main mentor, and she was a full-time scientist. So she was always in the lab, but she always had time for us, and she encouraged us to ask questions if we had any doubts. So it was a very comfortable space. And with our teacher assistant, Miss Giana, she actually, for my first presentation, she knew that I was very nervous. So she set up a meeting outside of our schedule to help me, which I really appreciate because that gave me like a push, to pursue the presentation. And I did it. I'm happy that I completed. It was a good job. So she definitely helped me. And I know that they have full-time work outside of the Cambridge course. So, handling both things is not an easy task, but they did it so well because they were always helpful. They always sent us emails asking us if we were okay, if we understood. So they took care of us. They helped us. They taught us. So it was a really nice mentor and TA.
Nice. And then as one of our Future Scholars students, so for those listening, our Future Scholars program is a group course. So we cap each course at 5 students versus our one-on-one program, it's just the student and the mentor. So as one of our Future Scholars program students, can you tell me kind of what your experience was having this program with other peers? Can you tell like a little bit about, where everyone else came from and if you felt like you benefited at all from having other students in your course?
I think it was kind of helpful because the other students, my classmates, they were just like me. They were also high school students who were just learning something new and just looking into their passions. So it was nice to know that I was in a classroom with people who had similar interests like mine and wanted to pursue similar things like I did. So that was really comfortable. And because we we're all the same age group, we could kind of relate more to each other and we could communicate more easier. And it took the pressure off, I think, because I feel like when you're just you and your mentor, there might be a bit of fear at first, but because we were all together, a group of like 6 of us, 5 of us, we got along really well. So that was really good as part of the scholars program.
Nice. And then to talk a little bit about the outcomes of the course, do you think that this course or doing this research experience has given you any insights into your future? Has it like shaped your path moving forward at all?
It definitely gave me, with just books and websites, I can't really see what it's like to get a real flavor of how my future career is going to be or how neuroscience or anything to do with medicine is going to be. So Cambridge really provided me an insight on how it's like. So one of the outcomes I definitely got was I was able to see more I was able to see what it would be if I pursued biology as a future career, which is good. And like I said earlier, it did help me with my high school as well because it helped me with my exams. And then I did a couple of projects with my teachers. And because I got ahead with the information that I learned here, it was much more easier to speak and communicate with different teachers of higher levels. So that was good.
Nice. And then my last question for you, if you, let's say, were chatting to another student who was interested in doing the program that was also in high school, what would you say to them if they asked you kind of what the value of doing a project or a program like this is?
I would say that it's obviously this course holds a lot of value. Like you put it on your resume as something that you've completed, but more than just a title in your resume, I feel like it's a personal experience that holds so much value about not only just learning about something new, but also meeting new people because teachers who have experience, who have published their own papers, and learning from firsthand itself what it's like to be in a lab, or even if you do other courses like architecture or designing or whatever it is, the fact that you can be in a room with people who have done this all their lives that holds a lot of value in itself.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. And it definitely does give you, especially because a lot of our courses are courses that students won't be able to have access to or exposure to in the regular high school environment. So it really does give you kind of a taste of what you might want to pursue in life, so you can figure it out early on and kind of get exposure to that, which I think is really great. So that's about it for the interview. Thank you so much again for chatting with me. And congrats again on your nomination to our Spotlight series.
All right. Thank you so much.